Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another breakdown. And yes, breakdown is back. It's up and going. Finally, once again, I'm gonna put stuff on the channel. Hope you guys that subscribed and missed the wrestling content forgot to go over the Brad Tragic channel. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be putting more stuff on here. I got too many wrestling ideas to flood the Brad Tragic channel with all the wrestling stuff. So slowly, I'm gonna start moving everything back over to this channel. It was kind of an experiment, and I'll probably will time from time still put stuff over there. But for the most part, everything's going on this channel. But pro wrestling is a part of my kind of lifestyle, I guess you would say, and that's all what YouTube is about. Kind of personalities, kind of showing what they really have passion for. And I really do love professional wrestling and everything. So it will definitely show on the Brad Tragic channel if you have not checked out that channel. It's Brad Tragic, Tragick, if you want to check that out. So let's get to why we're here. Let's talk about the state of wrestling. Let's talk about basically been a while. But anyway, if you're not caught up on wrestling, let me tell you what happened. I watched Raw this week. Um, Raw was okay. It was okay. I sat through it. I watched it. Um, of course, the main event scene of that storyline, everything involving that was really good. Brock Lesnar, it looks like he's going back to UFC, in my opinion. He's probably going to be done. And here's my thing about that. I was thinking, I was watching SmackDown last night, and all the previews of Raw that was on SmackDown last night, and it got me really, really thinking. And at the time when Lesnar came back, they seriously did have a problem. There wasn't anybody really in the main event scene. I mean, John Cena was the one, and then basically they had some like mid carders slash main eventers that were kind of jumping in between. Um, Sheamus was pretty much a main eventer when Lesnar came in, but since then, Sheamus has kind of been pushed aside. So Sheamus has been pretty much been delegated the mid card status. But at any time, him and Cesaro could go to main event status right now. But here's the thing: when Lesnar came in, there wasn't anybody. They didn't really have much main event scene in WWE, and they had all these new guys coming in, and they still had to establish them as big names. I mean, the Shield was coming in, I think, around the time Lesnar was starting to kind of get his footing back in the WWE, but they just weren't there yet. They tried at WrestleMania, I think 30, was it 30, 31? When Rollins cashed in, I can't remember. I think it was 31. Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Um, but anyways, there really wasn't a main event scene. Now, dang, they got way too many people now that could potentially main event. I mean, you got Roman, Dean, Seth, Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Strowman, and that's 7 people right there. That's enough. And you got more. You got Sheamus and Cesaro waiting on the back wing. You got Jeff and Matt Hardy. I mean, that's 9. And then if you add Brock, that's 10. Who else is there? I know I'm missing somebody else. They're high on Elias Samson right there, so you could count him as somebody that could potentially be pushed to the main event scene, which just sounds crazy because of what he was in NXT, but that didn't really surprise me because I kind of called what would happen with Corbin over on SmackDown because he's whatever. And if you and also plus you look at SmackDown, SmackDown has Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton, Rusev, uh, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, you got 8 people right there, and there's more. That's not even it. So they've got so much main event potential, guys. They don't really need Brock Lesnar anymore. So I'm not going to say that they don't need him, then just to say, push him away and to say, screw you, get out of here. We don't need you. But they don't need to give him a big paycheck anymore. I would think that if they're going to use Brock Lesnar, they would say, thank you, and I see your interest in the UFC. We're not going to re-sign you. And he would probably, they would probably share interest and say, we'll keep you, if you stay active and you want to be a part of the product, we'll be glad to have you show up, and we'll pay you, a fraction of what, he was getting paid. But he get probably still get a decent. I mean, I would assume they would probably still give him. I don't know what he's getting paid now per show, but I mean, if they pay him like $1 million a year right now, I could see them saying, hey, we'll offer you 200 grand if you show up for a certain pay-per-view or something. But I don't know. Like I can see that he is still a draw. He's still a draw, but there's no reason to have him there anymore because one, he's so dominant that you can't really have him there and still have a compelling program because you have to put him in the ring with either Roman, Joe, or Strowman. To even have, I mean, if you put him in the ring with Owens, AJ, like there's no like him and Nakamura is one that I really want to see, and I kind of hope something happens and that match happens before he leaves, or possibly maybe he's not done and he comes back for like another year or something, or he wrestles Nakamura before he leaves somehow. Like Nakamura goes a Raw on the shakeup at Romania or something. Because they wrestled before and they can wrestle and probably put on a hell of a match. But I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens. I don't think that they'll probably wrestle, though. I have a feeling Lesnar's gone just because of the reasons I've given, is because they don't really need him anymore. So, with that being said, I kind of want to talk about what happened on SmackDown last night, but Raw was pretty good. Like I said, it's just kind of, I don't know. I totally fell asleep last Monday. This Monday I watched. The Monday before that, I kind of fell asleep, so I really didn't see a lot of Raw. And I think the good moments I missed because I seen the main event angle, whatever, a couple weeks ago when it was on. And then after that, I kind of fell asleep in and out overall, and I think I missed the tag thing. And I fell asleep during the main event, which I wasn't. I don't think I fully missed it, but I was like in and out, waking up when the commercial went to break, or when they went to commercial, I fell asleep. But anyway, that's what happened. So it happens because I get off late at night and I come home and I try and watch wrestling, and I try not to watch any spoilers, so I'm completely like into it, all the way. And I try to sit through all of it. And like I said, 3 hours is a long time. I don't agree with cutting the time down, but it could be like more entertaining. But even then, like I said a couple weeks ago, I just wasn't into it. But this week, and last week was pretty good too with the tag team division. I think it was a good Raw last week. I just didn't really watch it. I just kept on asleep. Anyways, but this week was really with the tag thing. Jeff and Matt Hardy looking really strong. Revival looking really good. Now it's like, okay, I can't stop yawning. Like I said, every time I turn this camera on, I said on the other channel, every time I turn this camera on, I think I got to get the yawning bug. But I think every time I see some of these wrestlers that are like kind of injury prone somewhat, and I don't think the Revival is injury prone, but the one guy was injured, so now I'm like worried that he's going to get hurt again, or the other person's going to get hurt, and Revival's going to get set back again. So it's like, so there was talk that people may go back to NXT or moving stuff around. And I wanted to bring it to the table last night, which aired after Raw. So this kind of fits into me talking about everything, what's going on. But they talked about Enzo going to 205 Live. That would be pretty interesting. But I don't know how that would work because he flies, but he doesn't fly like that, So I would almost be afraid that he would be a jobber. Yeah. But I think I see Enzo a little differently. But besides that, they talked about Kalisto going to 205 Live, which I totally agree. He just needs to go to 205 Live. I don't know why he's even trying to be like a Rey Mysterio. Like, there's only one Rey Mysterio, and he got very lucky. He was very popular in WCW. That's the only reason why it worked with him. Kalisto, it could work, but he's no Rey Mysterio. It's not going to happen, and they try and make him into the next Rey Mysterio. It's not going to work. Rey Mysterio might be coming back, so we'll find out what happens then. I still don't think like Rey would fit into the atmosphere today unless they put him on SmackDown and let him have some great matches with AJ Styles. I think that's the only way it would work is if he comes in, wrestles AJ Styles, and has tremendous matches, maybe not win the world title, but just have great matches with AJ Styles. And Owens, he probably couldn't wrestle too much. Owens really good. Him and Nakamura might be able to have some good matches. I'm trying to think who else would have good matches. Rey Mysterio. I don't know about Corbin. He could probably do some good stuff with Corbin though, because he's worked with bigger people before, and it'd probably be interesting. But they already did that storyline with Kalisto and with Baron Corbin. So, but they talked about people. There's been rumors that they're going to send some people back down NXT. Now, some people have said that they don't want people that were in NXT to go, or they're afraid of people that haven't been in NXT being sent down there, kind of as a dumping ground. Now, see, I talked about this in a previous video, in that I think that they should do this. And the whole reason because of that, I said, is because of they didn't have the opportunity to go through that process and to learn and to adjust and things like that. And the good thing about sending people down there, like let's say a Dolph Ziggler or who else would be a good example? Zack Ryder's already been down there. They just need to cut him loose and let him go on an independent scene and see what he can do, and then bring him back later on. That's what I think they needed to have him do. Because I mean, they had his opportunity to do anything with him. Creative can't come up with anything. They're not doing anything with him. They've had opportunities time after time again. They just need to let him go. Dolph Ziggler, on the other hand, something is missing, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what the key is. I honestly think that they just need to let Dolph Ziggler go as well, and just let him go out in the independent scene, make his money, make his mark on the wrestling world, because he did as much as he probably can in WWE for the time being, and then let him go away and then let him come back, because he's going to be one of those guys that if you let him go now, same with Zack Ryder, let him go now, and Cody Rhodes, let them go now out of WWE. They still have time left in their wrestling career to come back, and when they come back, it'll be a big thing, because there's not too many things like that now, because there's not too many wrestlers that leave and come back and do it. Jericho is the only one, but I mean, 10 years from now, whenever Jericho retires, you're not going to have anybody like that that's going to come back and have a big surprise, whatever. Now, if you get a guy like Dolph Ziggler, a guy like Zack Ryder, and you get people to kind of just let them go and say, hey, go out and go to the independent circuit. We're interested in you. We just don't know what to do with you right now. Go out, find yourself, find a character, find what you want to do with your wrestling career, find something that works, and then we'll hire you back. But like I said, it's the best thing, because some people had went away and come back and been 10 times better, and some people came in and they thought they had a character, or they gave them a character and it didn't work, and it kind of screwed with their whole thing. But I think Dolph Ziggler, like, he's been there so long, like, they just need to let him go and let him go do his thing, come back, or, and this is the big or, send him down to NXT, let him wrestle down there. The big bad thing about that is he would almost have to be demoted and have to start jobbing out a little bit, so that he would kind of have to do a losing gimmick down there, and where he has to build himself back up. But that would be good, because if you think about this, if Dolph went down to NXT for another year and he gets built back up, he wins the NXT championship, and he really, really proves to the fans that he can put on really good matches, and he learns how to tell a story better in the ring, not to oversell. Maybe the overselling part is part of it as well. I don't really know. Like, I don't think the overselling really has any effect, really. But I mean, he does wrestle great matches. It's just something is wrong. Something is missing, that it's kind of hard. I mean, I think he does a really good job, but it's just, I think it's the writing, to be honest. But I think that if he found a way to kind of change up his character, I don't know. Honestly, like I said, you just need to let him go, whatever, come back. But anyway, that's what I think. Some of these wrestlers that they're talking about, oh, we're going to send them back down. No, don't send them back down. You just need to get rid of the wrestlers that you're not doing anything with, or they're just stuck in the storyline, like rolling things, whatever. I think, here's what, okay, so if I'm going to change SmackDown, and I'll kind of get into what happened on SmackDown this week. CENA took a very, very sick drop on his neck during a Nakamura match, and I hope he's okay. I hope he's not injured, but I don't know. I mean, it'll probably come out in the next few days if he's hurt or not. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's able to ice up his neck and everything's okay. But I'm assuming they're probably going to tell Nakamura, chill it out on those kind of moves. We're not in New Japan anymore. But I'm assuming maybe that CENA thought he was going to back body drop him on his neck instead. I wonder if there was like a miscue. That unless it was done on purpose, but I don't think it was done on purpose. And I think you could kind of see Nakamura say, "I'm sorry," but I don't know if that was because I beat you or is that because I dropped you on your neck. I'm thinking it's because I dropped you on your neck, and I'm saying I'm sorry. Because I do think he knows some English, just because he's been over in America and wrestling for Ring of Honor quite a bit, I think, or at certain times, because he probably likes America. Because it seems like that's why he wanted to come over and wrestle. Keep telling that story, and that makes sense because he's one of the first ones to come over to such a huge star, and he knew he was going to make good money over here, coming over here being one of the first ones to actually WWE make a big deal about him, and I can only imagine, if seeing what they're doing with him now, once he gets that world strap on him, other stars will come. I almost guarantee you that we'll see a couple more stars probably come in the next, 5 years. I think we'll see 2 more stars from New Japan end up showing up in WWE. And I think it'll become a thing of them maybe going to NXT, or maybe Nakamura just saying, "Hey, this is what you got to change. Work on this," and maybe keep him behind the scenes, and then make him have a surprise, thing. Like I can see like maybe Kushida possibly coming to WWE because he's a younger guy. Kota Ibushi's been there. He's wrestled on, 205 Live, I believe, one time. Did he wrestle on 205 Live? I thought he did. I thought he wrestled like on the first few weeks. He wrestled on 205 Live. I can't remember. Anyways, SmackDown, great show. AJ retained. Wonky set that match for SummerSlam. AJ and Kevin Owens with Shane as the special referee. That's pretty interesting. SummerSlam prediction video, I guess, going to be coming soon. AJ is probably not going to lose that belt, though. Owens is probably going to go off and do something else. I could see him challenging for the world title, or Owens will get the belt back again, and then they'll finish the storyline off on a SmackDown, and AJ will go off to do bigger things. So I could see that happening, too. Owens is getting the belt back and being like a 5-time U.S. champion or something already. Something stupid. It could be kind of dumb, but it is early in the morning. So if I am tired, it's because I need to probably go to bed soon. But let's talk about SmackDown. What I would do, I didn't really talk about this, but now since I talked about SmackDown, let me talk about who I would send away from SmackDown. But I had an idea, and I just thought about this before I hit that broadcast button or go live button, whatever, on the computer. I had this idea. So on SmackDown, the people that you need to either get rid of or send away to independence, whatever, Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler. Ty Dillinger probably just needs to go back down to NXT, to be honest. They're not going to do anything with him. I don't know why they brought him up to begin with. Stupid. Like, why do you waste time? Why do you waste your time? Or put him on Raw. Put him on Raw. Do something with him over there. Honestly, I think you should probably just put Ty Dillinger on Raw, because you can do a lot more with him on Raw over there. But I did have an idea for the Ascension, because Ascension really doesn't have anything to do. You need to keep them on SmackDown. You can use them as a jobber tag team, whatever, at some point. But you need to start building them back up, because I don't think in this day and age, okay, have jobbers, because if you're going to use jobbers, just use a local person. You don't need to have a jobber on your roster. That just sounds stupid to me. It's dumb. It's kind of stupid. You got Aiden English, you're trying to build him up, so that takes away a jobber. You don't need any jobbers on your roster, to be honest. You should build everybody up. You have a lower card person that occasionally gets injured or occasionally loses, but he needs to get a win back on somebody else at some point. So the Ascension, my idea was, when Corbin wins the world championship, and we know it's going to happen, and It'd be really, really sad if they use his Money in the Bank like, oh, it's one of the ones that doesn't win the championship, because that'd be horrible if they did that. It'd be so stupid. Because I can see him trying to cash in on Nakamura at SummerSlam if he wins the title and he loses, which that'd be so horrible. That'd be so horrible. I mean, it wouldn't build up Nakamura at all either if they did that. So I was assuming Corbin might win at SummerSlam, or they wait till later on down the road, like Survivor Series or something, to make a big deal. Because SummerSlam, it's already a big deal right now. But if they gave the Ascension to Baron Corbin, now I know his gimmick is the Lone Wolf, but I was trying to figure like out, like who could you give the Ascension to kind of be cronies for? Because you got the Miz and you got the Miztourage, you got Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. They're not really doing anything. Stick them with the Miz. They got something to do. Keeps them on TV just in case you come up with something for them. And later on, you're going to have something for them because they're probably going to all turn on each other. You're going to have a big triple threat match at some point. You put the Ascension with Baron Corbin and you build up kind of this mini faction that you don't have that third person or you don't have the other singles competitor, but you got Baron who could flip between the U.S. and the World Championship, and then you got the Ascension who you can build them up, and Baron can help them out, help them win the tag team titles, or help them further their careers. And it would be kind of a cool thing because I mean, one, he's like a metal guy, he has tattoos, he has, I think he has a couple tattoos, and he just looks badass. And then you got the Ascension with face paint and kind of like the modern day Road Warriors, except I'm not comparing them to Road Warriors. We won't go to that. But they're pretty cool. They give them an opportunity. They need to build them back up though again. And need to like say, and I thought they were doing that like at first because they like did something where they said to each other like we got to start winning or something like that, and they really went out there and they gave it their all during that one match. But then like nothing happened. So I'm like, what happened? Like I think that, yeah, during that one match I think they eliminated like 2 or 3 teams in that one thing, and then they lost. I think I like Usos or something. And I'm like, what was the whole point of that? Like you build them up and then you just knock them down like immediately in one match. It's like had an opportunity. Yeah, because I think they won the tag match. Some kind of mini tournament they had on SmackDown one time. They won the match and then they faced whatever like the next week on SmackDown and then they lost. Because I think they faced Breezango and then that's where Breezango won and they got the shot at the titles. And then that storyline went on for a little bit. I could be wrong, but I remember at one point they built the Ascension up to be possibly a contender to the tag title, and people I think thought that hey, this is the time they're building the Ascension back up, and it didn't happen. So, like I said, that's my idea. Put them with Baron, whatever. If not, I can see them possibly just saying, hey, why don't we send you back down? Let's get you another gimmick, or just strip them of the stupid names and put the real names on them, and just have them be real, just normal guys, and have them come in like that. I don't know. Like I can see them just doing that, but I think they're cool the way they are. They got a cool gimmick right now. I like their gimmick, which is kind of goofy, like kind of Road Warrior type guys, except they're a little goofy. Uh, and I honestly think that it should be like they should kind of be like a modern day like Road Warrior / APA guys, and that's kind of what they're coming off. That's like just real guys, except they just wear face paint and they act goofy. I mean, it's cool. Like I would be all into that. But on Raw, let's talk about Raw for a second. That's all I can think of for SmackDown. There's some people who technically are on the roster, but I think they just wrestle on house shows or something like that. I think Sin Cara is on the SmackDown roster, but he's like never hardly on TV. Like every once in a while on the Blue Moon, you see him on TV. And I know there's another guy, I can't think of who it is, that they said was on SmackDown, but he like never wrestles at all. I know Mojo's on there, but I mean they'll do something with him eventually. Um, there's just so many big main eventers on there that it's kind of like it's almost getting to the point to where when are they going to come up with a third brand because they're getting so much talent. It's like, what are you going to do with it? It's like it's crazy. Like Rusev is there and Randy, and it's like they just need to start rotating and telling good stories, and moving people around, moving pieces. Get a lot of moving pieces there to work with in both Raw and SmackDown. Let's see. But on Raw's side, Apollo Crews probably needs to go back to NXT. Just saying. Kind of like what they're doing right now with him, though. And then they started to do something with Tyson Hill, and then they kind of just floundered again. So I can see Apollo Crews going back down to NXT, just doing something down there. Who else on the Raw? Clay said he needs to go to 205 Live. That would suit him. And then plus that would mean if they put him on 205 Live, let his contract run out, he could do what they do, which they travel like overseas. They do evolution shows and Rev Pro shows and stuff like that. He can do that and make extra money on the side because I'm pretty sure that's what those do. They can give him that kind of contract, and he could go and travel and do stuff like that and make more money than probably would. I guarantee the people that are on 205 Live, they probably make more money than some of the people on the roster. I bet that if you probably compared how much money like I'm trying to think like an average person would get paid, probably like Apollo Crews. If you probably compared Apollo Crews' paycheck to probably T.J. Perkins' paycheck, I guarantee you T.J. Perkins probably makes more than Apollo Crews because I bet that in his contract he wrestles other places. Or I know like Noam Dar, definitely. He's one of the people you probably compare the paycheck with because I guarantee he gets paid at promotions that he goes to. So I mean, it's not probably a lot, but he probably gets I mean, I don't know how much a booking would cost. A couple $100, $500, probably 1,000. I would assume if you're getting a WWE person and somebody that's working for the WWE at the time, he's on TV on a consistent basis, or he's on a network on a consistent basis. I would assume you probably have to pay $1,000 for him to show up because he's pretty like if you would announce a show and say T.J. Perkins is facing your world champion, or he's going to be wrestling at this show, I would think some people would be wanting to see him because it would be in a local town probably, and not a lot of people are going to be there. I mean, even if it was in like New York, in a local thing, yeah, he's wrestling a guy called Johnny Stone or something. I'm just making up a name. I don't know if there's a wrestler named Johnny Stone. There may be, but I'm just saying. And he go and wrestle. I'm sure it would be a big deal. I'm sure he'd get paid extra money. And I'm sure that's what kind of contract they're working on because I see like Noam Dar goes over places. Who's the other person that goes over places? Well, I know like Graham Metallic, and he every once in a while shows up on 205 Live. He doesn't show up all the time. He's just like enhancement talent, kind of for. He doesn't lose, I don't think. Did he lose him? I don't think he loses on 205 Live when he shows up. The matches I've seen, he always wins. But he shows up and wrestles like somebody that can afford a loss on 205 Live. Like he'll wrestle like a Tony Nese or something, and he'll win. And then you won't see him for another few weeks. It's like, okay. And they kind of did that with Tozawa when he first came in. And I bet Tozawa wrestles. Like I said, I bet half these 205 Live guys, they don't get a lot of time on TV and stuff. So I'm assuming they're working under some kind of weird contract, kind of like some of the people in NXT, I think, do. But yeah, I would assume Apollo Crews could go back to NXT. And who else would I send somewhere on there? Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, like I said, that's a storyline waiting to happen, and that's kind of interesting. And like I said, those people are kind of good to have because if somebody gets injured or something, you can immediately just bust into that storyline, be done with it. Or even, and plus that kind of has a built-in tag team too, that if you need a tag team to work with or, to, put that, like, if Hardys are like, I've beaten everybody, I don't have no other team to beat, well, they're like that, they can come out and say, hey, you haven't beat us if, like, they wanted to go that route. Or they could have, like, a number one contenders match, and they just throw their names in the hat, and they somehow win the match with the Miz's help or something. They could go down that path, so there's so many different ways to get people over. It's surprising, like, Titus O'Neil hasn't did anything. Like, I honestly think that if Titus O'Neil wants to be smart about this, he'll go to 205 Live. He'll get himself over being the kind of voice of 205 Live, helping, the talent get over. Maybe just being a ring announcer would draw people over there. I don't know. I think it's something. Titus O'Neil, I think, maybe suited to be a manager more. And I never thought that I would say that because I think that he's got talent. I don't know. Like, I can't really take him seriously, to be honest. It's not because he's black. That's not exactly what it is. Something about him, it's just hard to take him seriously. And I think it may be the goofiness and him being so tall. Like, I never liked Big Show's crazy stuff, and Kane was somewhat funny, but I don't like big men that are like stupidly funny. Kurgan, yeah, he got over really well, didn't he? He got over really well. And the John Tenta, he was actually, well, he didn't, in his gimmick on with the, he didn't really do anything too much, but rest in peace. Um, yeah, he was the Earthquake, if you want to know who John Tenta was. Um, anyways, with that being said, wrestling, pretty good lately. I haven't watched any NXT. I watched a little bit of New Japan on Access TV, but kind of stepped away from Ring of Honor. I'm probably going to start watching again because a lot of Ring of Honor guys have left and went to other places. Cody is the new world champion, so I'm like, what's going on? Like, craziness in the wrestling world. And I want to say, go back and watch some of my older videos on this channel, and I probably mentioned that people keep complaining about the wrestling. There's a boom period coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the boom period right now. I just named off almost 20 guys that can main event a wrestling show at any time that are in the WWE right now. We've got like 10 more in NXT. It's a boom period. When at any moment, any of your wrestlers can be your world champion, you have got a major problem on your hands. And that means that creative better come up with some great ideas because it's going to get crazy. Like Finn Balor should technically be the world champion on Raw. But then you got Samoa Joe showing up and everybody's like, oh crap, Samoa Joe's here. And then Braun Strowman is getting over as a big man. So that's only the one downfall that I can see is like, yeah, Lesnar's disappearing, but you have his replacement. Braun Strowman is his replacement. How are you going to book Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman? I don't know. I have a feeling Balor's not going to get the world championship until he goes to SmackDown. And I have a feeling it's going to be next year when he gets put on SmackDown. He's probably going to be world champion. But I think he'll have some interesting feuds this year. But I can just see AJ coming to Raw because he knows how to work with bigger guys, and it seems like he knows how to work with them. Put Balor on SmackDown and have him, run roughshod over that. Because I think, like I've seen Rusev wrestle Chad Gable. Awesome match between those two, by the way. Still not sure on the whole Chad Gable thing, like if I like him. I think it's the whole thing about people getting so small to the point that you have a person who can wrestle on 205 Live as your world heavyweight champion. And that's kind of where it gets kind of shady. And I know Finn Balor is about that size too. So that's what I'm trying to talk about. Like, it's kind of odd. But I just can see it happening. But your whole main event scene has to drastically change at that moment. And it kind of means that you're going to make it a wrestling product when that happens. So I think that WWE is not really ready for that yet. Like I said, either he goes to SmackDown or Balor's not winning a title anytime this year. So, yeah. But NXT is, I haven't seen it in forever, but I know people keep showing up. Bobby Fish has signed NXT now. Kyle O'Reilly is supposedly right behind him. Adam Cole supposed to sign with NXT. Jay Lethal is supposedly, I think, in talks with NXT as well now. So it's like, who is going to be left in Ring of Honor? Like, there's nobody left in Ring of Honor. I think Adam Page, maybe he'll be next in line to start his descent into the world title scene. But there's so many people that are just, it's crazy in pro wrestling nowadays. New Japan getting so much hype from coming to America, a few months back. And so crazy about everything going on right now. So much wrestling. And I went going to a live show again. Random kids outside. Go to school. Anyway, this is my first, the first day my kids went to school today, by the way, too. Anyways, So back on the recording train. So this is live. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I don't have anything else to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed my little rant and Forte. This is probably a long video. I think I talked for like 30 or 40 minutes, I think. So if you guys enjoyed the video, I got to go upload. I got to go record a live broadcast over on my other channel. So if you guys enjoyed this broadcast, and I will catch you guys later. Comment down below what you want me to talk about. Any comments? I did have some ideas for how I would book kind of things. So be ready for that. Anything you want me to talk about, let me know down below. Certain wrestlers you want me to discuss, what I think about them, or so forth. And don't ask me about some random wrestler on the independent scene or CZW or XPW. I don't know. I don't have those DVDs. I'm not going to buy them just to review them. So yeah, this wrestlers today, or maybe somebody in Ring of Honor or something. What do I think about it? I don't know. Just ask me a question down below if you want to. If not, I'll do it in a state of wrestling, or I'll do a pay-per-view review coming up, or some topical videos coming very, very soon. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, keep rocking and keep killing mosquitoes. I think you're in the house. No, it's good. Keep rocking and keep on watching wrestling, guys. Later.